Hey guys, in today's video, I want to do a book report, right? We're gonna bring book reports to the channel, and I wanna do it on Blader Kei's 100-page essay on Is Beyblade a Sport, right? It's on his website of beybladex.com, and the link is gonna be in the description below. Please, you can download it. I actually put it on my Kindle. I read it. It was very easy to read. It's 100 pages, but here's my thoughts on it. So to get into it, I jumped into this book when I started to think about Beyblading as something more than just playing with my son. I was like, hey, there had been a lot of talk when I started this book. Oh, Beyblade should go to the Olympics. And I thought to myself, why? Why should Beyblade go to the Olympics? Clearly, this guy has 100 pages on why he thinks it's a sport. And I went through it. I read his book. At the beginning, it was very, very interesting. He makes some great points about early on about the early days of X and how he transitioned from Beyblade Burst to Beyblade X. He is actually one of the creators of the WBO, or one of the early adopters of the WBO, which do a lot of tournaments all over the world. He had actually brought in WBO tournaments to Japan with his time there. I believe he's Canadian, and he went to Japan, and he goes back and forth. There are a lot of great things about this book, but it really depends on what are you getting into the book for. I got into it because I wanted a full breakdown for what is Beyblade an actual sport, right? That's what I wanted out of the book. So I went in, and just to clarify, my brother and I for years have had the discussion, are esports actual sports? And there's nothing that, to just clear any bias, there's nothing that points out that esports aren't sports by definition, but are they sports in the way that traditionally we view sports? And I'll challenge that to chess is a sport, darts are a sport, ping pong is a sport. So they're not traditional, right? But I do believe esports have kind of found their own niche. They've found their own branch, and people don't really argue that anymore. And now with blading becoming more mainstream, X has taken off at a fantastic growth. Even though I can't find any in stores now, it's taken off. So this is great for us, but I wanted to know, is it going to ever be viewed as a sport? Can I talk to my adult friends about Beyblading, right? Now, I've made a lot of adult friends through Beyblading, but could you go to somebody who never watched the anime at, 35 years old and say, hey, we should play Beyblades? The same way that you could say, hey, do you want to play cornhole, right? Cornhole is now a sport. There are leagues, right? It's not the same. So I wanted to read and see, hey, how far can we really dive down this hole? And for the first 30 pages or so, he was really trying to find a footing to say, hey, this is a sport. But after page 30, it turned more into a write-up of his tournaments. And Blader Kei does a great job of writing about this, but it was an opinion-based post, an opinion-based essay, not even about is Beyblade a sport, but most of them came to, at the judge's call, I didn't think this was fair. So there were a lot of times in there where it seemed more like a battling journal than actual an essay on is this a sport. But through that, you can tell that he does take this very seriously. He takes it very seriously. He thinks about his combos. He thinks about his training. He thinks about these things. And in that essence, I think he views it as a sport, right? Just like people put the training in for basketball, for football, for soccer, all of these things, they're pushing themselves. And I think that Blader Kei is doing that. But what he is not getting to the audience is how those things are going in. The seriousness and the level of training that he's doing versus I trained a little bit and 2 weeks later I went here. You're showing that you're doing a lot of tournaments, and that's great. But you're not showing the hard work and the determination that you have and really pushing that forward. So in a nutshell, I am putting his report in the description below. Read it for yourself. Tell me if you have different thoughts. But my final thoughts on his 100-page essay is that it's less of an essay on is it a sport and more of a battle journal and his journey from blading in Canada to blading in Japan with Beyblade X. It doesn't read as an educational piece to tell us how it's become a sport. It's more of how serious he takes it, which is great. And it's good to see those things. He takes it very seriously, and we should too, right? Remember, if we want people to take Beyblade seriously, we have to take Beyblade, blah, 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 blah. If we want people to take us seriously, we have to take this seriously, not like what I was just trying to say. All right, guys, please, if you've read his 100-page essay, please leave a comment in the comments below. Like and subscribe to this channel for more content. I've got more books, actually not even in the Beyblade realm, right? I'm bringing books from archery. I'm bringing books from martial arts. I'm bringing books from actual shooting and different aspects of my life and books that I've read. And we're going to relate those to blading, right? And how I think that we can really push those to help us take blading to the next level. Is it a sport or is it a hobby that we want to take seriously? Leave a comment down below. Thanks, guys, and I hope everybody has a great day.